2.8 million years ago, in what's now South Africa, a 3-year-old child looked up at the sky. It was the last thing they ever did. An eagle, enormous, silent, faster than anything that small could ever run from, dropped out of the sun, sank its talons into the child's skull, and carried the body off to its nest to feed. We know this happened because we found the skull. It's called the Tong child, and the puncture marks in the eye sockets match, exactly, the talons of a crowned eagle. That was us, that's what we used to be, prey. For most of our history, humans weren't at the top of anything. We were a snack. Leopards dragged us into trees. Saber-toothed cats hunted us across the grasslands. Giant hyenas, cave bears, eagles the size of a grown man's wingspan, they all ate us, regularly, for millions of years. There are hominid skulls in South African caves with 2 neat holes punched in them, and when researchers held up a leopard's lower jaw, the fangs slid into those holes like a key into a lock. That's not a metaphor, that's a fossil. A leopard ate that person, and we found the receipt. So here's the question that should genuinely keep you up at night. If that was us for millions of years, hunted, eaten, terrified, then why today does almost nothing want to eat you? Think about it, you are physically a joke. You can't run fast. You have no claws, no fangs worth mentioning, no armor, no venom. A house cat has better natural weapons than you do. If you walked into the wilderness right now with nothing in your hands, you would look, to any large predator, like the easiest meal on the entire menu. And yet, a hiker walks through mountains full of bears and mountain lions and mostly comes home fine. People sleep in tents in the middle of predator territory. We are soft, slow, and utterly defenseless, and the most dangerous animals on Earth have, almost unanimously, decided to leave us alone. Something happened, somewhere between being eager food and being the thing every other animal runs from. We flipped the entire script. And the reason why is one of the strangest, most quietly terrifying stories in the history of life on this planet. Let's start with the single weirdest thing about you, the thing that, to a predator, makes you genuinely confusing. You stand up. I know that sounds like nothing, but in the animal kingdom, standing upright on 2 legs is bizarre. Almost nothing does it. And when a predator, a creature whose entire brain is wired to recognize prey by its shape, looks at a human standing tall, something in that ancient wiring glitches. Here's why. A paleoanthropologist named John Hawkes put it perfectly. When you stand upright, you look bigger than you are, taller, wider at the shoulders. You're basically running a bluff you don't even know you're running. Every prey animal on Earth, scared, tries to make itself look larger. The cat arches its back, the bird puffs up, the lizard flattens out. You do that permanently. You walk around all day, every day, looking like an animal that's mid-threat display. To a lion, that's not a signal of easy meal. That's a signal of, I don't know what that is, and I don't like it. And it gets stranger, because predators hunt using instinct built over millions of years, and that instinct says, prey runs on 4 legs, prey has a certain silhouette, prey behaves in predictable ways. You break all of it. You move on 2 legs, your shape is wrong. And worst of all, from the predator's point of view, you don't act like food. Gazelle, when it sees a lion, does the correct prey thing. It panics. It runs. That's the script. That's what a predator's brain expects, and everything about the hunt is built around it. You might stop, turn around, stare directly at the predator, maybe wave arms, maybe make a loud, strange noise, maybe pick up a rock. None of that is in the script. And an animal that survives by making split-second life-or-death calculations does not like encountering something that isn't in the script. And then we did something no animal had ever done before. Something that didn't just make predators nervous, it made us untouchable after dark. We took the one thing every animal on Earth is hardwired to fear, and we made it our pet, fire. Think about what fire meant. For every other creature in that ancient world, fire was pure terror, a wildfire meant death, and every instinct screamed to run from it. But somewhere, some group of our ancestors looked at the thing that every other animal fled from, and instead of running, they picked it up. They fed it. They carried it. They sat down right next to it and dared the darkness to come closer, and the darkness backed off. Because here's what a fire does at night, in the middle of predator country. It's a wall you can't see through, but they can't cross. A lion hunts by getting close in the dark, using the night as cover. A fire erases the night. It throws light into the predator's careful darkness and turns the ambush into a suicide mission. Worse, the smell of smoke to an animal means the one thing every living creature fears most: uncontrolled fire, death. So even the scent of a campfire says, to a predator's nose, whatever is over there, it is standing next to the most dangerous force in nature, and it is not afraid. That's insane from an animal's point of view. What kind of creature sits calmly beside the thing that kills everything? Us, that's who. And the predators watching from the tree line learned, night after night, generation after generation, that the flickering orange light meant one thing: stay away. Whatever those creatures are, they've tamed the fire. There is nothing safe about them. But let's say a predator ignores all of that, ignores the upright bluff, ignores the fear, ignores the fire. Let's say it's dead enough to actually try. There's still one more reason we're a bad idea, and it's a purely practical one: we're a terrible meal. Think about it from a pure energy standpoint. A predator hunts to get calories, meat, fat, protein, enough to justify the enormous effort of the hunt. Now look at a human. There's barely anything on us. We're mostly leg, and not even much of that. Compared to a deer or a wild pig or an antelope, animals absolutely packed with muscle and fat, a human is skin and bone and a whole lot of risk for almost no reward. A predator's whole life is a running calculation of energy in versus energy out. And attacking a human is one of the worst deals in nature. You spend a huge amount of energy, you take an enormous risk of getting your skull cracked by a rock or swarmed by the victim's entire group. If you somehow win, your prize is a scrawny, stringy animal with less meat on it than something half its size that wouldn't have fought back. Any predator running that math comes to the same conclusion every single time. Not worth it, go find a gazelle. But the meat, the fire, the weird upright walk, underneath all of it is one deeper thing: the engine that actually turned us from prey into nightmare. We made predators afraid of us, not through strength. We never had strength, through consequences. Somewhere along the line, our ancestors stopped just being prey and started fighting back, with rocks, with sharpened sticks, and most importantly, with each other. Not one human, a group of humans, and a group of humans throwing rocks and swinging clubs is a genuinely deadly thing, even to a lion. Remember that injury math. A lion with a broken jaw can't hunt. A wolf with a cracked rib can't keep up with the pack. For a wild predator, any serious injury isn't a setback, it's a slow death sentence. So the predators that kept trying to eat humans tended to get injured, and injured predators died, which means generation after generation, the predators that survived and reproduced were the ones with a specific instinct baked in. Leave the humans alone. They're not worth it. Scientists have a name for the fear we carved into them. They call it the ecology of fear. And it's not a theory, they've tested it. In California, researchers set up hidden speakers in mountain lion territory. They played two kinds of sounds. Sometimes the growls and calls of other predators, and sometimes just the sound of humans talking. Calm, normal, human conversation. The mountain lions ignored the other predators, but the sound of a human voice, they fled, dropped their kills and ran. Some of them wouldn't come back for over a day. The single most terrifying sound in that entire ecosystem, scarier than any other predator, was the casual sound of a person talking. Read that again. A puma, one of the most efficient killing machines on the continent, is more afraid of the sound of you chatting on a phone than it is of another apex predator. That fear didn't come from nowhere. It was carved into their species over thousands of years by every ancestor who made the mistake of thinking a human looked like an easy meal and didn't live to make it twice. And this is where it stops being about any one trait and becomes something much larger. We didn't just become hard to eat. We became the thing that eats everything else. Ecologists have a term for what humans turned into. They call us the super predator, because no other animal on Earth hunts the way we do. We hunt lions, we hunt bears, we hunt the hunters. We're the only species that routinely kills the top predators of every ecosystem we enter. And we've been doing it so effectively for so long that the animal kingdom has genuinely learned to be terrified of us on a global scale. There are places where humans wiped out the large predators almost entirely. Wolves, pumas, big cats, hunted, trapped, and driven out across enormous stretches of the world. And the animals that survived, the ones still out there, are overwhelmingly the descendants of the ones who were smart enough or scared enough to stay away from us. We didn't earn our safety by becoming strong. We earned it by becoming the most dangerous thing most of these animals had ever encountered, and then letting evolution do the rest. Every generation of predators that feared us bred more predators that feared us. The fear became the inheritance. So here's the strange, uncomfortable truth underneath all of this. The reason you can walk through a forest today and feel safe isn't because the forest is safe. It's because, for 2 million years, your ancestors were so relentlessly hunted, so constantly eaten, that being terrifying became the only way to survive. Every human trait that keeps predators away, standing upright, moving in groups, using tools, being loud and strange and unpredictable, every single one of those was forged in a world where we're the ones being eaten. The eagle that took the Tong child didn't know it, but it was hunting a creature that would, over the next few million years, become the single most feared animal on the planet. The prey became the apex, the snack became the nightmare, and the fear that predators feel toward you now, the reason they melt back into the dark when you walk by, is the echo of everything our ancestors survived to put us here. You are the descendant of the ones the eagles missed, the ones the leopards couldn't catch, the ones who stood up, picked up a rock, and made the most dangerous animals on Earth decide it wasn't worth it. You don't feel dangerous, you feel soft and slow and defenseless, and you're right, on your own you are, but nothing out there in the knows that. All they know is 2 million years of a very simple, very hard-learned lesson. Don't eat the ones who stand up. See you in the next one.